Dear student, welcome back again in our today's session. So, as you can see that today I am going to discuss about on the topic bibliography and references. In this lecture, we will discuss about in detail about the topic bibliography and references. So, without further ado, let's start our today's topic. First, we will understand the concept of bibliography. What is bibliography? So, as you can see that, if we talk about first bibliography, so basically bibliography is a list of the sources. It is a comprehensive record of all the sources you consulted during your research, regardless of whether you directly cited them in your final work. Unlike a references page, which only lists sources that are specifically mentioned or quoted within the text, a bibliography includes every and each book and article, website, and other material that contributed to your understanding of the subject. So this might include a background, reading, and like influencing all the all the detail and all the related works that informed your perspectives, even if they were not directly referenced in your writing. By providing this broader list, a bibliography not only demonstrates the depth and the scope of your research, but also allow others to test the intellectual journey you took while exploring your topic. So it serves as a valuable tool for readers who may wish to delve deeper into the subject and offering them a roadmap for the further study. Moreover, a well compiled bibliography acknowledges the work of other scholars and creators whose ideas have shaped your journey, your own work, even if their contributions are not directly cited. This practice reflects scholarly and integrity of thoughtfulness, ensuring that all the relevant sources are recognized and credited. So, in academic and professional writing, including a bibliography is very essential and very crucial as it highlights the extensive research that underpins your work and offer a transparency regarding the sources that influence your thinking. So overall, we can say that about the bibliography. Basically, a bibliography is a list of all the sources you have consulted during your research work, even if you don't directly cite them in your work. After clear the concept about the bibliography, now let's understand the format of bibliography. As you can see that, first we will understand the format of book. If we talk about the format of bibliography, so as you can see that the first one is book. So format will be like this. First, you will mention the author's name and then the title of the book and then publisher and the last year. Take an example. Suppose that if you are referencing a book written by John Doe, so titled Understanding Science and published by ABC Publication in 2020, it would be like this: Doe, John, Understanding Science, ABC Publishers, comma, 2020 full stop. Now, the second one is articles. If we talk about the article, the format will be like this. First, we will mention author's name, title of the article, title of the journal, volume number, now and the issue number and year, and the last pages. Take an example of article. For an article written by J.D. Smith titled Climate Change Impacts, published in the Journal of Environmental Studies in Volume 12, Issue 3 in 2018 on pages 45 to 60, it would be like this. Smith Jane, Climate Change Impacts, Journal of the Environmental Studies, Volume 12, number 3, and 2018, page number 45-60, full stop. And next one is website. So basically the format of website will be like this. First, authors if available, and then title of the web page and website, URL, exceed date. Take examples. If you exceed a web page titled the solar system on NASA's website on August 10, 2024, it would be like this: the solar system, NASA, and the web link exceeds 10 August 2024. So this is the format of bibliography. After discussing about the concept and format of bibliography, now next we are going to discuss about the purpose of bibliography. So basically, if we talk about the purpose of bibliography, there are so many purposes of bibliography. So as you can see that the first one is providing context. A bibliography offers a broader context for the research by listing all the sources that have informed the researcher's understanding of the topic, including those not directly cited in the text. So overall, we can say that about the purpose of bibliography. So a bibliography serves several important purposes in academic and professional writing, contributing to the overall integrity and the depth of the research work. And bibliography offers a broader context for your research by listing all the sources that have informed your understanding of the topic, even they are not directly cited in the text. This includes a foundational work, background readings, and influential studies that have shaped your thinking. By including these sources, you provide a fuller picture of the intellectual environment in which your research is situated. It helps the readers understanding the depth of information that contributed to your conclusions and provides a richer backdrop against which your work can be understood. Now, the second one is demonstrating research scope. So, if we talk about the demonstrating research scope, it includes the bibliography demonstrates the extent and the depth of the research conducted, showcasing the researcher's thorough engagement with the existing literature. So overall, we can say that about the demonstrating research scope, it includes a bibliography demonstrate the extent and depth of the research you conducted. It showcases the thoroughness with which you engaged with the existing literature, giving our readers confidence that your conclusions are well informed and based on a comprehensive understanding of the topic. This is a particularly important in an academic context where the credibility of your work is often judged by how extensively you have surveyed the relevant literature. Now, the third one is facilitating further reading. A bibliography serves as a valuable source for the readers who wish to explore the topic further. While listing additional references, it guides the readers to related works that may expand their understanding or offer a different perspectives. This is especially useful for students, scholars, or professionals who are interested in the deepening their knowledge or pursuing the related research work. Now, the fourth one is highlighting influences. That means by including all the sources you consulted, a bibliography highlights the various influences and perspectives that have shaped your research. It shows how your work is connected to and builds upon the existing scholarship. So basically, it offering a comprehensive view of a scholarly landscape. This transparency not only acknowledges the contributions of other researchers but also situates your work within the broader academic conversation, allow the readers to see how your work, how your research fits into the ongoing dialogue in your field. So these are the purpose of bibliography. So after discussing about the purpose of bibliography, next we are going to discuss about the references, the concept of references. So if we talk about the references, basically references are the very essential components of academic and professional writing, as they provide a clear and organized list of the sources you have directly cited in your work. Each references in this list corresponds to a text citation, ensuring that readers can easily locate the original source of the information and the ideas or quotation you have included. So this practice not only leads credibility to your work by demonstrating that your arguments are supported by existing research, but it is also helps to avoid the plagiarism by properly attributing the ideas to their original authors. So the references list is typically placed at the end of your document, and it is formatted according to the specific citation style such as a APA style, MLA style, or Chicago style. It depends on the guidelines you are following. By maintaining a well organized and accurate references list, make it very easier for the readers to verify your sources and further explore the topic, thus contributing to the transparency and reliability of your research. In essence, references act as a roadmap that guides the readers through the scholarly foundations to your work. It's showing the how your research is grounded in and the contributions to the broader academic discourse. So overall, we can say that about the references. References are the source you have cited in your work. Each references corresponds to an in-text citation. After discussing about the concept of references, next we are going to discuss about the format of references. So basically we talk about the format of references. So the format of references is similar to that of a bibliography. But with one key difference, our reference list only includes the works you have cited directly in your text. Here is a detailed explanation of how to format the different types of sources in your references. So as you can see that the first one is format. If we talk about the book format, first you will mention the author's name. After that, you will mention title of the book, and then you will mention publisher, and then you will mention year. Take examples. Suppose that the author's name is listed first, followed by the title of the book in italics. The publisher name comes next, followed by the year of publication. Take examples. If you cited a book by John Donne titled The Art of Research, published by Academic Press in 2020. So this format will be like this. First you will mention the surname, Donne, John, and after that title. Title will be the Art of Research and the Academic Press, and then year. So now the next one is articles. If we talk about the articles, the format will be like this. The first, you will mention the author's name. After that, you will mention title of the articles. And then after, you will mention title of the journal. And then volume number and issue number. And then year. And then pages. The author's name is listed first, followed by the title of the article in quotation mark, and the journal title is italic, followed by the volume number, issue number, year of publication, and the page range of the article. Take examples. If you cited an article by John Smith titled Innovation in Education, published in Educational Review, volume 45, issue 2 in 2021 on pages 100 to 115. So the format will be like this: John Smith, comma John, and then in inverted commas, innovation in education, and after that, educational review, and then volume name, and issue number, and then year, then pages. Now, the third one is website. So, if the author is available, list their name first, followed by the title of web page in the quotation marks. The name of the website is italic, followed by the URL and the date of the exit of the page. Take example, if you cited a web page titled the global warming facts on the National Geographical website exceed on August 10, 2024, globe. So the format will be like this: global warming facts, National Geographical, and then URL. After that, exit date like 10 August 2024. So this will be the format of mention the references. So basically, there are few key points you have to remember. First, the order. List the reference alphabetically by the author's last name. And the most important, punctuations and italics. Pay the attention to publication and the punctuations, periods, comma, quotation marks, and italics, book and journal titles. So first, you have to understand about the order. Second, punctuations and italics. And the third one is consistency. The consistency means ensures that the format is consistent throughout your references list according to the citation style you are using. Like if you are using APA style, MLA style, and Chicago style. So by following these formats, your references will be very clear, well organized, and easy for the readers to use to locate the original source. So this is the format of references. After discussing about the concept and format of references, now Next, we are going to discuss about the purpose of references. So as you can see that the first one is crediting sources. So basically we talk about the purposes of references. References play a very essential, very crucial role in academic and a professional writing while serving a multiple important purpose. So as you can see that the first one is crediting sources. The primary purpose of a researcher list is to give a proper credit to the original authors and sources of the information, ideas, data, and quotations that you are used in your research work. By acknowledging the work of others, you demonstrate the respect for the intellectual property and the contribution of fellow researchers. This type of practice is fundamental to maintaining the intellectual honesty and academic integrity, as it shows that you have built upon the work of others while contributing your work, insight, and analysis. Now, the second one is avoiding plagiarism. So, including the references is very essential for avoiding plagiarism, which is the unethical act of presenting the someone else's work or idea as your own work. By accurately citing all the sources you have used in your text, you are clearly differentiate between your original thoughts and the ideas you have borrowed from others. This not only protects you from your any kind of unethical work of academic dishonesty, but also foster a culture of transparency and fairness in your research work. Now, the third one is enabling verification. References provide readers with the necessary information to locate and verify the original sources you have cited. This kind of ensures that your research is transparent and reliable. It allows others to check the accuracy of the information you have presented. By making it easy for the readers to trace the origins of your data and the arguments, you enhance the credibility of your work and contribute to the overall trustworthiness of the research process. Now, the next one is, and the last is supporting arguments. So basically, a well constructed references list strengthens the credibility and validity of your research by showing that your work is grounded in existing knowledge and scholarship. By citing authoritative sources, you demonstrate that your arguments are supported by an established research and that your conclusions are built on a solid foundation of evidence. This not only bolsters your arguments but also situation your work within the broader academic conversation, showing how your research contributes to the expand upon the existing study. So this is all about the purpose of references. Let's understand once again. The first one is crediting sources. That means the primary purpose of a research list is to give a credit to the original authors and sources of information, ideas, data, and quotations used in a research work. This ensures the intellectual honesty and academic integrity. Now, the second one is avoiding plagiarism. So, by citing all the sources used in the text, references helps to avoid the plagiarism which is unethical practice of presenting the someone else's work or ideas as one's work own. Now, the third one is enabling verification. So, references provide readers with the information needed to locate and verify the original sources, ensuring transparency and reliability in the research process. Now, the last one is supporting arguments. A well constructed references list sup- supports the credibility and validity of the research by showing that the work is grounded in existing knowledge and scholarship. So, overall, we can say that references are very important for acknowledging the contributions of the others. It avoiding the plagiarism, enabling the verification of sources, and supporting the credibility of your research. They ensure that your work is ethically sound, transparent, and firmly rooted in the scholarly community. So, after discussing about the purpose of references, now next we are going to discuss about the difference between references and bibliography. So, if we talk about the difference between references and bibliography, so basically references and bibliographies do like a similar but have a distinct roles in academic writing, helping to clarify how research is documented and credited. So basically, we have categorized the references and bibliography on the behalf of purpose. So first, we will understand about the references. The primary purpose of a reference list is to give the credit to the specific source you directly cited in your work. Whether you quoted, paraphrased, or referred to a source, it must be included in the list. It is a focused collection of the exact materials that directly influenced your writing, allowing the readers to easily locate the original source of your information. And on the other hand, if we talk about the bibliography, so the purpose of a bibliography is a broader. It is not only include the sources you directly cited, but also any additional materials you consulted during your research work. Even if a source that didn't make it into your final paper as a citation, it still contributed to your understanding of the topic and it is therefore listed in the bibliography. This shows the full extent of your research efforts. Now, the second one is content. So, first, if we talk about the references, the content of the references list is limited to those works that are directly linked with your research work and it will be mentioned in your research paper. If your references a specific article, book, or a website in your text, it will appear in the reference list. This ensures that every source you cited in your paper is accounted for and that readers find the exact materials you used. Now, if we talk about bibliography, so the content of the bibliography is a more expensive. It includes not just the source cited, but also those you use to your for the background reading or to develop your ideas, even if they didn't end up being cited directly. This might include the additional books, articles, reports, or a website that help you to form your understanding of the subject. Now, the last one is scope. So first, we will discuss about the references. So the scope of a reference list is a narrow. It focusing strictly on the sources that were essential to your arguments and analysis in the text. It is a concise, precise list and that directly reflects the citations within your work. And on the other hand, if we talk about the bibliography, the scope of a bibliography is a broader in comparison references because it encompassing all the sources that contributed to your research process. It provides a fuller picture of your research work you have conducted, includes the material that influenced your thinking but were not specifically mentioned in your paper. So overall, we can say that references offer a targeted list of the sources directly cited in your work, ensuring that readers can verify and explore the specific materials you use. And if we talk about the bibliography, so bibliography provides a comprehensive list of all the sources you consulted, whether cited or not. It giving a complete overview of your research process and the depth of your research journey. So this difference helps to clarify the different ways in which your work is supported and the range of your materials that inform your research. So this is all about the references and bibliography. Thank you.